All right, I'm here at a fort in Cuba, and it's very reminiscent of what I've seen in other parts of the world. But in particular, this reminds me of Elmina in Cape Coast, Ghana. You have the moat, I guess this is what it is, where the water, and then when you walk into Elmina, you still have this like makeshift bridge. Not a makeshift bridge, it is a bridge. And then you go inside. It's very reminiscent. Now the Spanish built this, but the Portuguese built Elmina. It's just very reminiscent. That's all I can say. And again, when you travel and you see and you learn, there are things that just kind of, you put pieces of the puzzle together, and it's very interesting. To go through here, right? I'm imagining.
Yeah, that's the moat. Yes.
Okay, the water used to go through. And why did they have the water? Why was there water here?
To protect it, you see. The bridge used to be, how do you say?
A drawbridge.
A drawbridge. So you draw the bridge and then you gotta go through the...
So Cuba is known for its cigars, and if you look right here, these were rolled today, and then if you come over, you get a chance to see the tobacco leaves. And so Cuban rum, Cuban cigars, you get a chance to see some of the different beverages, if you will, beverages. The different spirits, the different flavors, right here in this shop in Havana. As a trading post for gold, and then it turned into where they were trading humans. And this is in Ghana. And I mean, I'm telling you, it looks nearly identical to this. I mean, it's eerie how similar this looks. I mean, the same way you walk in, the same thing, same, and then you have it all the way around. You have the cannonballs. The British built one also. It's a very interesting, that's why I asked.
So like medieval construction.
Yes. Here in Cuba, and this is a fort, and this is eerily reminiscent of what I have seen in parts of West Africa. This was built by the Spanish, so the architecture is just a little bit different, but when I walk through this pathway, it feels eerily similar to Elmina in Cape Coast, West Africa, in Ghana. Now, Elmina was built by the Portuguese, and so that was, and it was not originally built as a slave trading post. It started off being built for gold trading, but over time, it became a place where you would trade humans. One thing that I would always notice in all dungeons when I was at Fort Jesus in Kenya, when I was in Cape Coast Dungeon, Elmina Dungeon, you would always find a church, whether it be Catholic, Protestant, 9 times out of 10 was going to be Anglican, somewhere in the middle of these structures. Now, this just so happened to be the Spanish and the Catholics were very well connected. And when you understand the history of the Crusades, you really understand that the Crusades are basically a war between Islam and the Catholics. So here you see all of the different rooms, and look at this right here. A Catholic church. Here's the bell. And then when you look inside, you see there's the Catholic Church. Right here in the center of this fort. And so, again, when you start to understand the role of religion and how religion plays a part in cultures. So you have education system, you have the religious system, you have the economic system, and then you have the culture system. And what these systems do is they shape the way people think and how they behave. And so you can see what the dominant religion is and how it functions based upon how the people behave. What I'm realizing in my travels is that you cannot have a culture with a majority of people with independent thought. because then you can't have a consensus on how the culture is going to flow. So then that leads to nationalism. And that's why you see so many people saying, my country, my country, my country, my country, without really understanding all of the elements of that particular country. So we take pride in our country without understanding all of what has made that country up and understanding the complex histories. So coming here, it's very similar. You see a similar pattern when you go to any country. You see these same key elements. Education, and when the education systems started in many of these countries, it was designed to teach them about religion. And whatever the religion is, what it does is it shapes the way the person sees the world, the way they sees the deity or the God that they serve, and oftentimes how they see themselves. That's why when you see people switch from one religion to another, it's not like they have too many options. They pick one or the other. It's either this or that. And it's, primarily three dominant religions in the world. And you see that, though, that recurring theme over and over again. And those same religions fight for power, but really what they're doing is fighting for the minds of the people. Fighting for the minds of the people. If you get the minds of the people, you get the hearts of the people, you control the behaviors of the people, you control the money of the people, and ultimately you control the culture. And then that leads to how people see themselves, their particular countries, or their particular, whatever it is, their culture or whatever, that's what you begin to see. So this is very fascinating. I'm wondering, a lot of these rooms that are along the sides here, I don't know if they were slave quarters or whatever, but they, bars they say they were prisons. That's kind of a new age way to clean up stuff. Because, you've got some place that's 500 years old, how old this is, 400 years old. Well, they got to clean it up and call it a prison instead of a dungeon. That's why they call them castles instead of dungeons over in West Africa. Well, it's Cape Coast Castle, Elmina Castle. It's a dungeon. It's a torture chamber. It's a terrorist, it's a crime scene. That's really what it is. Now, I don't know enough history about this place right here, but all I can say is that it has all of the elements of what I've seen in West Africa and in East Africa. And so it's, again, if you look over here, I wonder what's down in those holes over there. I don't know if those are dungeons or not, but when you go to Cape Coast Dungeon in Ghana, you see the cannonballs, the cannons aimed out. Obviously it's a fort, so it's designed to fight. And you see a very similar theme. There's something that looks like an obelisk, like an Egyptian obelisk, and it is facing the capital. That's very interesting. This obelisk is facing the capital, and if we walk over there, we would see that on top of this, the capital, might as well. I was trying to be respectful of the grass. You will see that this obelisk actually faces the capital. And I wonder what the symbolism is of this. It's just amazing how all of this stuff intersects and how it all ties together. It makes you wonder. It makes you, right here, this has a very dungeon-esque kind of feel to it, but it might not be. It might be where somebody went in and started firing off, cannons. It could be that. Let's see what it says. Definitely old school and primitive as far as the, okay, so this is talking about some of the fighting that happened, Venezuelan military. Okay. So this is an area where I guess some sort of fight happened. You can deduct that from the pictures. But let's see, let's go up and see if we can look over and see what this obelisk is all about. You get a different view. So it does face the capital. This obelisk faces the capital. And again, this is a recurring theme all around the world. All right. So this And you see this in Washington, D.C., you see this in Luxor in Egypt, you see this in the square in Paris, France, you see it in England as well. And so you look and you see it facing over towards the Capitol dome. So I wonder what the significance is. You got bars on the wall. That must have been a prison. Huh. You got bars. Yeah, that kind of tells you it has a prison vibe. Yeah. So you're not able to go inside any of those?
No.
Oh, okay. Oh, but this is open.
Some of them are open. Some of them are like a cafeteria.
Oh.
This one is
Oh, yeah. Okay.
shops. This one is like- This one is
Oh, I see. Oh,
representation of the island.
like indigenous.
No,
Neanderthal. Oh, okay. 500,000. Okay. Doesn't look like it was restored, like with a mold and everything on the rocks. Yeah. Wow.
In this case, restoration basically consists in taking water pressure
And just pressure wash the rocks.
Just clean it.
Yeah. You probably put bleach on it and just bleach, bloop, bloop, bloop. But you pressure wash to get it off too, yeah.
The city when it was created, Sevilla, the date when it happened.
And so Sevilla is what, in
It's a city
Spain?
in Spain.
Oh, Sevilla, okay. Sevilla in Spain, 1778.
June 1778.
June 17, 1778. June 17, 1778.
The name is usually around here. This
Oh,
is another
okay.
name.
And who baptized it? The Pope?
Probably the priest in the regional they
And they baptized it to shoot? Okay.
It was a tradition for them.
Oh, I see. Go.
There's another one over there, probably that was,
Might have a name on it.
yeah. Sometimes when they restore it, they don't do it properly.
Ah,
And they,
okay.
Tunecino.
Tunecino.
Tunis.
Okay,
Somebody-
from Tunis.
From Tunis.
Really?
Tunecino.
In Tunisia?
Tunis.
Now, is this from, now Tunisia, that's in Northern Africa.
Yes.
So is that, now, but is there a country, a city in Spain called Tunisia?
Probably. it
Probably.
was-
That's what I would think, yeah.
It was not here. We can.
1489. September.
Sevilla was made in Sevilla.
Okay, Sevilla. And that's in Spain. So Spain is España. Is it España? Is
Yes.
It, is it?
España.
España.
Sevilla.
It's
Sevilla.
España, okay. Just happened to stumble across this on the way out. I wonder if this is because this is very similar to what we see in other parts of the world. I take my time going down. Precaution. And, So this is just it right here. You smell it, it smells, it has that same smell. It has the same smell, it goes down here, but I would be curious if these walls could talk the story they would tell.